Often as a web designer, you are asked to do a review of a website. This may be for several reasons. Everything from a friend asking you, a work assignment, a school assignment, possibly even the ability to try to request work from a company as finding ways that you can help them out. Now, a lot of people think that a website review is a very simple thing. You just look at it and does it look pretty? But there's a lot of things to consider. I'd like to point out some of those right away. The first thing I'd like to consider is to look at how fast a web page loads. So here's a website. This is what it looks like fully loaded, but we're going to take a look at what it takes to load the page from scratch. In a lot of web browsers, if you hold the Shift key and then click the refresh or reload button, it'll reload everything without the cache. You can see how long it takes for all the individual elements to come in and start to load. And now we're done. This obviously takes a long time. This is something that needs to be considered, as a lot of people are unwilling to wait past just a few seconds before leaving a page if a page does not come up automatically. This was done with a home connection to a broadband. This wasn't a low dial-up or DSL. This was coming across at 15 megabit. One of the most common things for people to look at is the design of a site. Now, this particular site was chosen for a couple reasons. When we look at the design of a site, we want it to be easy to read. We want people to see and know where to look, where to focus on, and what the pull of the site is. Now, this site is using a very busy background. By a busy background, I'm referencing how there's a lot of shapes in the background image, a lot of different colors. It's very distracting. It's hard to make it to be able to focus on something. Your logo needs to be prominent, usually up towards the top, and easy to read. Now, we do have a logo here. Because of all the shapes and the colors and the lines and everything else going on with the logo, it tends to get lost into the background. It's very hard to see. We have a lot of animated types of images, which increases our download time. It also can be distracting to the user. Animation, as with a lot of things, will catch the human's eye. This is just the way the human's eye works. The problem is when we have a lot of different animation in a small area, the eye doesn't know where to focus on. So we have background animation going here along this border. We have this dollar bill, as well as a pound note, as well as this three-dimensional object. All of them are moving, all of them are competing for the visual preference, or where we prefer to look naturally on the website. And the question is, does any of these really contribute to the overall design of the site and what we're looking for? Another thing that we want to look at from design, if you notice up here at the top, it says additional plugins required to display all the media on the page. Using non-standard design tools or non-standard media objects can generate this warning message. If you're not using Flash, you're not using something that's very standard, people may not have it, and therefore they may not be able to fully view what this website is doing. A lot of people are unwilling to install additional plugins to their browser. Also, I, for example, do not usually browse with my sound turned on. So if you're using audio as a core component, you're missing out on people like me, as well as those who have some sort of hearing impairment. You want to make sure that your content is accessible to all people. Now, from a usability standpoint, one of the things that we need to look at is what is the focus of the site. Secondly, we also need to know how to navigate. Usually your navigation is either going to be along the top of a page or down the left-hand side, and it is neither. In fact, this website has decided to opt, instead of having a navigation to take you from page to page, this website is mainly on this single page. This makes for a very long page. We can also tell by how small our scroll bar is. The smaller this little scroll piece, the longer our page is. A lot of studies have shown that if your web page is more than 2 or maybe 3 screen heights tall, they're unwilling to scroll down to the end. This is kind of a general idea and guideline that we need to follow. So from a usability standpoint, a lot can be done from managing it from one section to the next. Now, I always try to, whenever I do a full website review, look for something that's positive. One of the positives you can find from the site is that there doesn't appear to be any missing graphics or code violations which is causing a page not to render correctly. So these are pretty important things. These are also things I look at. When I do reviews of e-commerce sites, I'll also look for a functionality and ease of use for things like the shopping cart and the checkout process. I'll be looking at things like, can I do a search and find information on the website, as well as other types of tools. So there's a lot of different things that can go into a website review. I've done website reviews that are 10 type pages long, and it all depends upon the size of the site and all the different aspects that are being incorporated. Don't make suggestions just to make a suggestion. Make sure that there is a clear reason for the suggestion, as well as what can be done to fix the problem that comes up. Thank you.